For last episode, we discussed about the problems Jos, Lichia, and Tirsa may have had while searching for the career path that they desire. And today we're gonna continue with that, asking whether the actions that they created for themselves, whether they achieved those, and we can have a reflection of that. And we can start with one of you. Yeah, who wants to be the first one?
No pressure, Just.
No pressure, Joost. Okay, that's very clear. I can go first then. I'll offer myself.
Yeah.
So the three main things I wanted to do in the last couple of weeks is first off, I wanted to send a lot of messages to people on Twitter, people that I saw, or after looking, I would find that they were in esports coaching in the scene, and just ask them, hey, how did you get there? I'm kind of struggling with finding a way in there. Do you have any advice for me? So that was the first thing. Then I wanted to send an email to some esports organizations in the area around me.
Yes.
And lastly, I wanted to look at further clarifying what a YouTube video for me would look like, one that I could create.
Yeah.
So starting with the first one with the Twitter, I sent a message to, I think it's about 15 people so far.
Wow.
Nice.
And so I was looking around a lot in Twitter, just looking for esports coaching.
Yeah.
I did filter it a bit down myself because I'm mainly interested in people that came there from scratch, because obviously I don't have any experience, but in the scene that I'm interested in, a lot of coaches are former pro players, for instance.
Yes.
So they just sort
Makes
of
sense.
find their way from, they retire from playing professionally and they come into the coaching stuff. So found a lot of people like that. I sent some messages, basically saying, hey, I'm not really sure how to get there. I'm a student on this university, and asking them, hey, do you have any advice, and how did you get there? So far I got one reply back, which was...
That's nice. That's nice.
We take all the small wins, remember?
do take the
Yes.
small wins. So the reply, it was a very basic reply, but he was just saying, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Like the studies was a good thing. Make sure you share your work as well. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, if I loosely translate that, is that YouTube channel could be a good idea. So, or at least find some way of showing your experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds like a validation of what we actually discussed in the previous episode, correct?
Honestly, yeah, in a way, I didn't think it would be, I don't know, but that's basically what he said, and and be active on social media, which is something I already kind of assumed because a lot of it
Mhm.
takes place there. So, be active on Twitter, I guess.
Yeah. How did you feel after getting a reply?
I was quite excited. So, the whole process, I think I sent the messages somewhere in the late evening, and I had put the messages in a Word document, just trying to make it look proper. And then I just opened up all the tabs with all the people that I found I want to send it to, and just copy paste, just enter, just get it over with, right? So when I sent it, I was after the first one, I was kind of fine. The first one I was a bit nervous for, but after that, it's just the rest is all the same. And then when I got a reply, it was I was quite excited to see what he would say. Yeah, I was hoping. I'm always hoping for a bit more, but probably not what you could expect. I'm not expecting people to give their whole life experience of how they got to where they are now.
Yeah.
Take the spiel and everything will be perfect. Yeah.
But so overall, it's a reasonable outcome, and I was quite happy with it.
Yeah. So you made progress.
Yeah, I made progress.
And what do you think was the hardest part?
Yeah, exactly. Something that other students may also struggle in, if you think about.
For me, it's always been about beginning with it.
Mhm.
It's always the first steps are always hardest for me. So getting a message together, initially I would be nervous about that, and then actually sending it. Those were the two main things.
Nice.
Yeah. So one reply out of 15, correct?
One reply of it.
So
Yes.
before you actually sent the messages, did you have somebody to prototype it with first or test it first?
I actually didn't. I didn't end up doing that.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, like, is there a way, because it's still pretty good, like 1 out of 15 is still, I think it's still okay, but I also think maybe there's room for improvement. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. What do you girls think? Do you think like having more of a personal approach could be better than copy pasting exactly the same kind of message to those 15? What do you think?
Yeah, I think personalizing it would make sense. Because I think if you get a personalized message from someone like, hey, I saw that you're doing research in this and this and this, and I read this and this and this work of you, and I find it really interesting. I think I would personally like respond more positively maybe, or like more enthusiastic than just a more general message, I think.
What do you think, Licha? Like when you handled back in days like applications, could you see if people actually copy pasted some motivation letters to different companies? for
Well,
instance?
you definitely cannot see if the person copy paste literally, but you
Yeah.
can see that the person is saying in a more general way. So when you personalize and you say something that the person published or the company is written in the website or something like that, you really feel that you're special. The person put some effort on it, and it probably raises the chances for someone to reply. Of course, it's harder. It takes more time. And the goosebumps are going to stay not only for the first one, but for more.
Yeah.
But it certainly gets easier. I mean, like you already have a good base. You just tweak it a bit to include some personal thing. So I think you already have a good base, and you already achieve something by getting at least one reply, right?
Yeah, but maybe now you can do more like a sniper kind of job, like really aiming in someone that you think it's you really I don't know, you admire a lot, and
Right.
really try to tailor made a nice message for that person specifically. And it's about like dating. Let's put it this way, because you have to show how interesting you are, and you have to tell that person how interesting that person is, and how fantastic it would be for you guys to exchange some ideas and things like that. So you have to really make this match between something that the person might be interested in, maybe becoming a mentor or something like that, and something that you are interested in, like like acquiring more knowledge or something.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. I think that brings to the topic we like briefly discussed like during this last week is sort of how do you advertise yourself?
Yeah.
Because I definitely like about the personalizing. I think that's a really good idea. I'm actually kind of surprised because like it sounds
It looks
sounds
so
logical.
simple.
Yeah, like I'm surprised. I didn't. Yeah, if it's a bit sloppy, I didn't think of it myself. If I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there were definitely options for that. If you can make it very simple, even by just mentioning a name or
Yeah,
like saying like just
exactly.
the one thing they have on their
Yeah.
like Twitter bio and you just put it,
It
in
can
there.
it can actually make the difference.
Yeah, no, I reckon that's definitely good advice. But when it comes to selling yourself in a message like that's something I felt a bit. Yeah, I would feel a bit nervous about. I guess I can illustrate it with the other thing I did is like the Northern Lions.
Mhm.
An esports organization in the north of Groningen. It's like
Mhm.
mainly a student one, but they competed to the like a national level.
Yeah.
So I sent them an email as well, and that's where I sort of struggled with like how do I present myself? Like what do I say that my skills are? Which I found kind of hard because you want to be honest.
Definitely.
And
definitely.
I have limited experience so far. So what I ended up doing there is saying, hey, I'm doing this, or mentioning that I'm doing this this master course right now,
Mhm.
sort of what that is about. And then I talked about how the master course has given me knowledge on coaching.
Mhm.
A lot of the courses can be used for sports psychology. I'm doing my master thesis on sports psychology, and also that the game I'm interested in, that I have experience in that, and also in coaching people in that, because I do. So that's how I sort of sold myself to them there.
Mhm.
But that's still, I don't know. Like I find it quite hard. Like even though if I name it now, it's like kind of straightforward. Like I'm being very honest, but I still
Mhm.
I always feel a bit nervous about that. I don't
Okay.
know.
And do you know what that is, that specific thing?
Well, just not having the confidence yet. That's the main thing.
Yeah, not having the confidence. I think we will stumble upon this
Yes.
kind of
for
theme
everyone.
topic throughout.
Yeah.
I think these episodes that we have, and hopefully the viewers can see the change in all of us and how we can gain more confidence. But I think you already made a good start. My question for you now is, how do you incorporate the new insights you got from one reply and the whole experience of sending emails? How do you incorporate all of the information you gathered so far by creating prototypes through emails and messages, and you actually tested it because you got some feedback from us and also from the one reply? So yeah, how do you plan to, what are your next steps? Let's put it this way.
So I think my next steps will mainly be on doing the things I'm already doing, but improving them, sort of, as we're saying. So I still want to look for esports organizations around me where I can get some experience.
Yeah.
And I still want to find people on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever, and try to get in contact with them and hear about their experience and ask for their advice. So the next steps would be to just, well, as we're saying, sort of incorporate those things, so personalizing the messages, and also selling myself and saying what I can bring to the table. Yeah. And I think that, I mean, one of the main things I can sell is my experiences with the game, but also the university degree, and like, I guess. Yeah.
And I don't know, an input that I could give you, since I'm older.
You're very welcome to.
I think when we are like around our 20s, we really want to look super mature and with a lot of experience. Yeah. But actually, if I were hiring you, I thought it would be interesting to have your enthusiasm, your motivation, your curiosity. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to really emphasize, I have experience in that, because we know you don't have that much. Yeah. But of course, you have to tell them this is useful information. But more than that is your curiosity and enthusiasm and characteristics that you have. This is what you can bring to the table, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. Like, of course, you like going back to how you market yourself is to stay authentic and really focus on your key qualities or your core values. And I think it always shines through in people, like in interviews or job applications or whatsoever. And I totally agree with Licia. It's not always about the merits and necessarily the experience. It's about how they perceive you when they meet you or discuss with you, and which kind of person you are, and is it like really nice to work with you. I think that's like, especially in esports scenes, I think it's also really important. You have gaming experience, right? Synergy is really important. Yeah. So picking the right people that fits to the environment and the value of organization might be more important than having the right person with experience that doesn't really fit into the organization. Yeah.
So don't forget to mention soft skills that you have, not only.
I was just thinking of that. Yeah. Just like maybe for yourself, like your homework, it's like maybe to check what your strengths are and your values, and see if there's like a pattern in there, and what kind of like companies you could work for, if there's like esports companies.
Right. Yeah. And one question to really keep in mind is like, think about like, if you would meet somebody who's going to make the decision, you have to think, okay, why should they have me there in the organization? Yeah. And if you can really answer that with your core qualities that matches with the ideology of the company or the values of the company, I think you have a pretty good chance for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely think for my one of my main soft strengths is my enthusiasm that normally shines through, but I do find it very hard to convey that in a message without it sounding. I feel like that sometimes sounds like a bit pretentious, like not pretentious. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's not a good word, but like I feel like it sometimes sounds a bit fake if you put it in a message. So that's why I for instance, also to like the Northern Lions, I told them, hey, I'd be very willing to discuss this over like Google Meets or in person or something. Yeah, because that's the best. That's where my strength is personally. Yeah. I can really. That's when I can be very enthusiastic and get that across.
Good. But it's good that you're aware that you shine better when you have a chance to be in discussion, and you should really focus on that and not trying to focus on the thing that you dislike or feel like you're not confident about, or you feel like you are not fully honest, even though you are, but it feels like you are trying to bragging about yourself. Maybe if you feel uncomfortable with that, I think it's perfect that you find a way to get in touch in a conversation rather than just sending emails and brag about yourself. Yeah, but it's good. And before we move into to Licia next, the one reply you got, they said like creating content on YouTube channel is really important.
Yeah.
How do you also do you plan to do something with that information?
I do. It's just that it's been very busy the last couple of weeks with finishing this the studies. But I have put it onto like a document, like the very clear what, for instance, one video could look like, and I've already given it some thought. But I definitely need to work it out more. But that's definitely that's something I am planning on doing for sure.
So you are basically prototyping right now. Yeah,
basically.
I was thinking what could work with that as well is the thing that we shared in the LinkedIn group. We have like a template to for like design thinking, so you can maybe use that to develop your YouTube video ideas.
Yeah, sure. And for the viewers as well, we put the worksheets that you can use. You can have them by joining the LinkedIn community, the Agents Academy. You can find it on LinkedIn. And just download the worksheets. You can use it for yourself. The whole design thinking process that we are applying here during the work experience, live streams, and discussions. It's really important for you guys to also take a look at the infographic and the worksheet that we provided. And now we're going to move to Licia.
So it's interesting because we are probably living similar scenarios, and I probably need to explain my context before I can explain why I didn't exactly do what we said. Okay, so basically I have one course left, and it's quite hard. I don't know if it's the hardest or it's just because it's the end and then we feel that it's the hardest. So I was struggling a lot with the assignments, and now we need to study for the exam, and it's the last one. And then we keep thinking about, okay, what if I fail the last course, and what am I doing here? And it's so, it was supposed to be easy. I was supposed to be good already. I'm almost in the end and getting my diploma, and it's still hard to go through this course. So I started doubting myself. And also the thesis. So I had a friend of mine that yesterday she asked, "Oh, so are you graduating in September?" I said, "No, in June." And she said, "Like, we are in June." I don't know if you know this. Yes, and like I cannot imagine because I have so much to do yet with my thesis. So I really started doubting myself, and I don't know, when you call someone, when you send your CV, you put yourself in a very vulnerable position, and I was already so vulnerable. I was like, I cannot do this, and I didn't know exactly where to begin. So it was not only taking the first step, but I really couldn't figure it out what to do. So what I did was to go to the easy way out, and I sent the CVs for 10 or 12 companies that, the apply, just press the button and everything is fine. And I started receiving a lot of no's, which was also something like...
But at least you got replies. I mean, they could have just not say anything and just ignore you completely.
Yeah. So I was in this down moment, and I was really grateful that I talked to you guys, and you really gave me a lot of motivation of let's try this other approach. Yeah. And like, I really need to understand what's going to be my first step. Yeah. So you guys suggested me some companies. So I have 3 companies that I really want to send an email, or better than that, call.
Yes.
And so I went to the website. I got the name. Then I went to LinkedIn. I typed the name, Groningen. And then I saw the people there. And I found the HR person from that company. Yes. And then I went back to the website and I found their number. So now I have the number for the people that I want to call. So making this association with the website and the LinkedIn, I could know that I want to talk to that person. So this is what I'm going to do.
And how are you feeling about it?
I'm nervous. I cannot say that I'm not, but the assignment is done. So I just need to...
No more excuses, right?
No more excuses, definitely not. I think the thesis and the studying for the last exam are flowing. Yeah. So maybe I should enjoy this flow moment and really just put this also, this other task.
Keep the momentum going.
The momentum, exactly.
But it's still like calling those companies. My question is like, is it still something out of your comfort zone to call instead of sending emails or
It's not in my comfort zone at all.
Okay.
It's in my danger zone.
your danger zone? Okay.
As a Brazilian, we don't do this at all. We
Okay,
don't call.
yeah.
We don't call
Yeah.
at all. So it's really weird. Culturally speaking, it's weird to call people.
Yeah.
But I already got being here for 1 year and a half, a little bit more. I noticed that everything works better if you call people
Yeah.
for anything. They receive you better. They understand your struggles better, and they are more open when
Yeah.
you call people. So I need to embrace this
Yeah.
cultural difference.
Yeah, and
go
you
for it.
know when you get even better reception is when you walk inside the company and talk with them. For my
It's like even
own
further
experience,
than
I
the
can
dating
say that
pool.
I actually did send a lot of emails, right? And back then I wasn't so strong in writing motivation letters or things like this. So I figured out, okay, this is not working for me. What I did, I actually started calling companies, and then 1 out of I think 6 actually picked up, and I got a interview. But I also noticed that it's best if you actually print out your CV, resume, motivation letter, and you just walk into the places that you want to have either a job, internship, or traineeship. Whatever you're looking for. I think it's the best because I think I went to 6 different companies and 2 of them offered me something. So
Really?
so it's a really good rate.
Yeah. No, I agree and I understand that because it's so scary that
Yeah.
no one does.
Exactly.
And then when you do it,
Yeah, they're like, wow, okay, this must be, this guy has courage or this person has courage, and it's different from the others. So if you feel like you cannot stand out with your resume or CVs, maybe finding this kind of approach could help you stand out. It's
For
just
sure,
an
for sure.
example.
and bring this human element.
Exactly.
The thing, yeah.
They see the face,
Yeah.
and then later they can see what you have done. So they can connect the face with your resume and CV. So
Okay, so I'll stay in level 2 first.
yeah, exactly. It's
That's
totally
already
fine.
Danger zone.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
I
like,
just
what
wa-
would the other zone be?
Exactly.
Freaking out.
Yeah. So don't scare yourself because what can end up happening if you like pick up a big mountain is that you try to push it away and then
Yeah.
you procrastinate.
Yeah, because I was telling you guys that I don't procrastinate in the usual way, like don't do
Yeah.
anything at all,
No.
but I do something else. And then I convince myself, like, no, but I am doing something. But I
Yeah.
do the easiest one.
Yeah.
So if I go in a too scary way and too ambitious,
Yeah.
I might just send the CV again and say,
Yeah.
but at least I did something.
Exactly.
So I think just aiming to the second layer there, it's.
I think that's completely fine, and
Yeah.
also I think with all those things, if you do it more often, it will get better. I also like I was like a couple of years ago, I was looking for a job, and I went to 2 shoe stores, for instance, to like ask for a job there, and even like the first one was very scary, and I was not very happy about it. But once you do the first one, the second one is already easier, and I think that's with all those things. So and especially if you practice like level 2. You know,
Yeah.
at some point you'll feel scared, but more comfortable with level 3 as well.
Yeah, because you gain confidence.
Yeah.
You started with small steps and slowly you build up the confidence because
Yeah.
you kind of took the challenge, head to head.
Mhm.
So that's how you kind of built the confidence, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe what also help is maybe like imagining what it would be like if you did it, how you would feel, and yeah, instead of thinking, oh, how would they react, more like how would I feel if I did this, and usually that's like feeling proud and happy, relieved.
Yeah, I think the place that I'm going to do this also matters. So I probably need to picture myself grabbing the phone and talking, sitting on
Imagery.
that chair. Yeah, imagery.
Can you prototype and test it with one of us, like random day? Just call us,
Yeah.
and out of nowhere, just
Yeah,
state your thing, and then we have a conversation, and maybe you can build up confidence through that.
that's very nice because then I can structure better what I'm going to say.
And then you get like feedback, right? So you can find other people also if you have in your network who works as HR in HR department. Just give them a call or say, okay, one of these days I'm gonna give you a call, or don't even do that if you still feel comfortable like giving them a random call. And I think it could be a way to test and maybe get some feedback, perhaps.
Nice, nice. I'm really happy because now I know what to do, and it's quite simple. So it's
Yeah.
doable.
It's almost like rehearsing up for presentation, right? In front of mirrors. You just like imagining conversation and just practice.
Yeah.
It's all about practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for
You can
the
do it.
for the upcoming week, you have 3 companies, correct?
Yes.
And you plan to call them all, correct?
I'm gonna call 2 of them.
2 of them. Okay.
But yeah, if everything goes right, maybe I can even put the third one there.
Or you can save it for level 3.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
what,
Who knows?
what will make it so that you would say it went well or it went right? You said
If the person accepts to have a coffee with me.
okay, but not even
Drink
if they
coffee
just
with me.
hear you out and like, yeah, but well, you don't seem like the right person for us. Would that be a fail because you have done it? You have called them up, so
But actually, what I'm going to say is not necessarily, hey, I'm looking for a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably say something like, well, I'm international and I'm trying to make it here in Groningen, and I admire the company and how you guys build up. So I just want to make some questions. Maybe we can get to know each other, at least grow our network.
okay.
So
Yeah, it's good.
it's not necessarily something like, do you accept me?
No, okay.
But I like your approach, because by saying let's grow the network together, I think you provide something in return also. So they get actually something. So you as a person in their network. So
Yep.
I think what listeners should really think about is when you ask for the time of the people that that can make the decisions, make sure you think about what can you give them in return when they give their time.
Yeah, make
For
it
you.
worth.
Yeah, make it worth.
Make it like a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just a tip, I would say. Good.
I'm confident.
Yeah, you.
That's great.
We see that
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
shining right now. So that's
I'm
really good.
excited for you.
Yeah, really excited for
Yeah.
what's gonna happen like this upcoming week. So
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
You have to keep us updated.
I will, definitely.
good. And Tirsa, let's
Yes.
move on to you.
Last but not least.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you? Yeah. Okay. I'll share what I did. So my plan was to have a chat with someone from my former secondary school.
Yes.
Which I did, and it was really nice. I went to the school and we just had a conversation, and the person I spoke to introduced me to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like a real life LinkedIn situation where I got connected
Amazing.
to other people. So last week I had one online chat with a teacher from my secondary school.
Mhm.
And they didn't really need someone right now to organize workshops or anything. And we also kind of established that a workshop would maybe not be the right thing right now, because they were more focused on teaching
Mm-hmm.
the teachers what to do to, for the students' development. So, I couldn't really do workshops yet, but she did say that if they're going to have a meeting with other teachers, that I could maybe join that and share my ideas. So I think
Oh.
it's good to still have like like my foot, like,
Foot in the door.
Yeah.
so
There's
that's
still-
nice. And then also I have another conversation this Thursday with someone from another
Wow.
school from my hometown. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that as well.
Oh,
And I was
nice.
also thinking, because of you, Joost, you were saying like maybe about like a YouTube channel and starting that. I was also thinking maybe for me, creating something online could also help, or starting to create like a little mini course.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could do that as well, like on the side if my thesis is done.
So what's your idea for it? Like the topic for the mini series? Have you thought about that?
Not yet. So I think that's why I need to be in contact with people that need it. And I'm
Oh,
also
yeah,
thinking
good.
like which group, because I'm also like I'm interested in secondary school students, but also like our age students. I think they could also have some help with certain things. So I think I need to get in contact with people to find out what is necessary, because I do really like creating something and helping other people, and Just
But you're going to do this on the side, right? So like in a parallel way.
yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, I don't know what is gonna come out of the conversation on Thursday, but I already wanna plan a step ahead, maybe
Really good.
in
Really
case
nice
that
idea.
doesn't work out, and maybe also if I create something myself or like a mini module or more of an idea already myself, then I think it can help as well. Because maybe I'm also using the thing of like, oh, I want to find out what other people think as an excuse to not start yet.
Yes.
If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's what I'm
you're-
afraid.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're asking and answering the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I should really get something on paper and start with creating something
Mhm.
so I can prototype it and not just wait until I get input.
Yeah. Is it an idea if you already create something because you already know like what struggles you had and what others might have in the same course or in the same study year? Maybe you can start prototyping. Is it an idea and then show it to them and ask, okay, do you think this is gonna be helpful for the future students? And then get feedback straight away. And if they say, okay, it's nice, then or yeah, this needs a bit of work, at least you get feedback and you can work on that before getting insights or waiting, so you can have that on the pipeline already.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I think it's also good to share it with other people. And
Yeah, for sure.
But
And
is
have-
there a specific niche that you actually really like or you like the most?
that's, I think, a bit of my problem. I find quite a lot of things interesting. And then, yeah, so it's not that I have like one specific thing like, oh, I really want to focus on this.
Let's frame the question.
Mm.
Okay.
What is the problem that you try to solve for the end users?
Wow.
Because like
That's a good
I
question.
want a lot of people to really think about this. Like, I know there are people who want to start a business, right? And there are people who want to be successful, become a millionaire someday, and really, really killing it. But in the end, it boils down to what problem you are able to solve for the end user or the party that you create the product or services for, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's really important to start with the question, okay, what problem are you trying to solve?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, you sort of mentioned, or you talked about it in, I think, the first episode a bit, where it was about helping people, I guess, find what to do, like in the later stage of middle school, right? Or
Yeah, that's definitely something I want to do. Like, how do I find out what I'm good at? Because that's something we're struggling with already. But I can imagine also when you have to decide what you're gonna do after your secondary school, you're a bit lost as well. So that's one, and also I think
There's a question. That's already a question, right?
yeah, and I think planning and I think just making school a lot easier and smoother, because I feel like a lot of students struggle with making a planning, with their motivation, with their concentration. So I think there's like a lot of things there as well. I just want to make it go smoother.
right.
Nice.
I think it would definitely help with the procrastination, right? Because usually when people
Yeah.
or students procrastinate is because they don't have a plan or
Yeah.
they don't organize their time that well. So they feel like, oh, I still have time to do this because they don't really write down the plans or the tasks they need to do for the day and things like this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, that's for me personally. The times I procrastinate is if I don't know how to approach something.
Yeah.
If I know how to approach something, it's like you schedule some time and I
Yeah.
get it done. I'm normally quite a quick worker, so I'll get it done. But if you don't have a good plan of approach, then it's like, well, you can sit there and like just work, but you're not sure what you're gonna do. Like if I need to type an essay and I have no clue how I want to write the essay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't just start typing random words, right? So
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
plan is quite important there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now connecting the dots, you
Exactly.
need a plan.
Yeah.
For the like choose one
Good-
topic.
good
Tirza.
observation.
Choose
Yes.
one topic and do a course, like a mini course of
Yeah, just write the
2
prototype
hours.
for it, right?
Yeah.
Just one
Yeah, I can
topic.
just start with like one thing, one small thing, and then if it works, then I can expand it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get feedback, test it, and improve it, and then make iterations.
But then I still feel like I'm lacking so many skills to do this, and I don't know why. Yeah.
You
Like-
don't know if you're lacking until you try, I guess. But
But you know, that's how everybody starts. Like a lot of YouTubers, they just develop the skills during the filming and during
Yeah.
everything they did. They all started pretty similar. I think like I think it's important to not be afraid of how you look like to others, because I think successful people accept the fact that they might look silly when they try new things and really get there. And the ones that usually don't succeed they are too afraid of what other people think, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I just mostly want people to accept it. And I know I cannot make something perfect right away, but that's maybe something I still deep down expect from myself, even though realistically I know that's, yeah,
But
that's not going to happen.
You notice that when you were developing a workshop or a training, information is something that you can get it. Everyone can get it on internet right now. If I want to
Yeah.
learn how to, I don't know, cook fish, I don't know, I can't come up with an example.
Cook fish.
Anything-
Perfect.
So
I mean-
anything I want to learn, I can go on the internet
And cook fish.
and cook fish.
Yeah, and you have a nicely baked fish. But yeah, it's a good end result. It's
Yeah,
like
it
it's very
is.
clear. You start with a question,
Yeah.
you look it up on the internet, and
So basically what you need to do is to create the experience. So you don't need a lot of skills of knowing so much of
Mhm.
that X topic,
Mhm.
but just creating an experience for the students or your end user to have.
Yeah.
one thing that I actually really took away from the coaching course that we followed, or I'm not sure if you guys followed it, but
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
it was mandatory, right?
oh, maybe so for mine. Well, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But so one thing I really took away from it is that as a coach, or if you're trying to help people, right? Because that's sort of the essence of coaching.
Mhm.
You don't need to be an expert on what they do.
Yeah.
You can take a lot of the knowledge from them, and like help that guide them
Yep.
towards where they want to go. Like a lot of it can come from them.
Mhm.
You're more like you're the
Facilitator.
exactly,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to help them with guiding their way. But
Yeah.
so you could coach someone like an expert at, I don't know, like expert tennis player, and you could still teach him things because, well, I mean, one thing I've also noticed when I talk to myself about my issues, sometimes you like some things are clear as day, but you don't see them until you talk to someone about it, right?
Mhm.
And so the
Yeah.
experience with that is what you can create. That's what you definitely can provide, even though you don't have all the skills that they might have for.
Yeah,
that
sometimes
makes
it's
sense.
also about asking people the right questions. And
Exactly.
then they
Mhm.
already
Mhm.
have the insights themselves.
Exactly.
So if you could, sorry.
No, just go.
If you could choose one topic now to create a workshop, what would it be?
I find it so difficult.
What do you find the most energy in, and you have like the most enthusiasm to you know, like after this podcast or live stream, you feel like, oh, I have the energy to do this already.
Well, yeah, I do already have some knowledge on like how to plan and how to study. So
Mhm.
maybe that, just like those skills, learning how to learn.
Learning how to learn. That's nice.
That's
you
a
already
good
have
one.
a very good
It's really
title.
catchy.
Yes, it is.
I was thinking the same. Yeah.
Learn to learn. Yeah.
And to
Nice.
learn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So that's one thing. So maybe I'll start with that. But then also in my bachelor thesis, I also looked at like self-compassion, and I also find that really interesting. So also more like the softer,
You can just start
Yeah,
at one
also
and pick
like-
one, right?
yeah, and also more like mental health kind of issues.
Yeah, but
There's
you-
so many things I just
yeah, just
find same level interesting.
yeah, but start with one,
Yeah.
and then you can add more things to the sauce. You know, you have like
Yeah.
a pot where you
With
you cook a
fish.
pot and
I'm
you
hungry
put
now.
fish, broccoli, whatever. You
make a
can
nice
always
little
add
soup,
like
you know?
new spices, and then you create your own recipe.
Yes.
What and you and then you can say this is me, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. You have the full recipe. So I think only way to create your own recipe is to just try and add new flavors and new things, and but at least start with one, the base first. So question for you is, what are you gonna do for the upcoming week?
Good one. Well, first, I'm gonna have the conversation on Thursday, but that was already planned. So
Yep.
I also want to do something else, of course. So I'm thinking of creating a prototype
Good.
for the first mini workshop. Just have like a rough outline, because I'm not sure also with my thesis if creating like a whole workshop
So,
Or-
so what topic are you going for then?
No pressure. Again.
That's what I think to start with. What am I gonna do? I think maybe just like planning and time management.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Planning and time management. Good.
There we go.
That's really clear. It's
Yeah, sometimes good to just like
put it out there.
make a decision
Yeah.
just randomly and then move on from there.
Tie the knot, I guess, or the knoop doorhaken. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
But do you know, like, just going back to the conversation you already had, do you already feel more confident or comfortable, like, having these conversations with different institutions right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Also, when I approached the school first via LinkedIn, I was so scared to send a message, and then
Yeah.
before my
We remember it. We remember, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
and then when I had the chat with someone from my secondary school, I also felt nervous before doing that. But
Yep.
after that, I felt like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And also for Thursday, I'm still feeling like some
Butterfly.
butterflies. in a
It's
way.
good. It means, like, it's
then-
really important to you.
But then it's not as daunting anymore, I think.
Good. Really good.
So yeah, slow steps.
Good. I think, yeah, really interesting things happening right here. So I hope you listeners were able to catch some of the things. Since we went full circle already, is there any question that has been raised from the program that you guys doing that people really struggle with? We can maybe address some of those issues or questions before we end this episode.
I think it's kind of hard to put that into exact words. I'm not really sure. But people are free to, obviously, whenever we do the next live stream or leave it as a comment, like leave what you think we should talk about, and we can address it at the end of the episode.
But
Yeah.
I
Definitely, yeah.
think a lot of people, I feel like, also like when you end your studies, is
Mhm.
that people don't really feel confident and competent enough.
Yeah, and this
Even though they have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, people often still feel like, what am I doing? Am I good enough at this already? So I think that's...
So the
also-
question is, do you think a confidence workshop would be helpful for those people?
Absolutely.
You
Oh,
guys think so?
No? What,
Yeah.
what did you say
I
to
said definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely not. No.
course.
Worse study.
If that's something people really struggle with, I think what we could do is to help them with this. I think from my own personal experience, because I did almost like, how do you say, cold calls and almost door-to-door sales. Yeah, maybe I have some insight that could help people find ways to be more confident, because I used to be a shy guy, right? And I started there. I think I wasn't confident at all, being different from all the Finnish people in Finland, right? When I was growing up. So I had my struggles, but I think I can use that experience and insights. Maybe we can co-create something together
Absolutely.
and
That's
have
nice.
really interactive workshops where people can practice through certain exercises how to become more confident. And going back to what Joost said, how to even go further than that is to present yourself to a stranger that you haven't, talked to before.
Yeah, exactly.
But more about that, we will keep you informed. For now, you can stay in contact with us through Instagram, website, and LinkedIn community. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. And if you have any issues or you would like to have an expert in the show that could bring you knowledge, let us know, because we have a network here. And we can certainly find the right people to help you out as well. But for now, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.